Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio, so today we're going to be looking at the most expensive cards from Future Flash and Ancient Raw. That is the double set that just released over in Japan. Now, I am well aware, as I'm sure many of you are, because I've told you many times, that is basically Japan's equivalent of our Paradox Rift. Although do remember, Paradox Rift also includes the cards from Raging Surf and a few promos, etc. But largely pretty much the same. Now, I know that Paradox Rift is kind of out there at the moment, but it's not actually out. We have had pre-releases for Paradox Rift. It's been lots of fun. But the set isn't actually out until the end of the week. So any prices you get before the end of the week are going to be all over the place, not trustworthy, etc. Whereas the set is actually out in Japan, it's been out for a few days now, we've had time for the prices to actually get established. So what we're going to be looking at here is the price of those cards over in Japan, where they've had time to actually settle down. Please do bear in mind that the most expensive cards in Japan will probably end up basically being the most expensive cards over here. But also please bear in mind that the prices are likely to be quite vastly different, as is often the case. Cool? Cool. So let's start off then at number 10, where we find ourselves the Gold Iron Valiant. Iron Valiant is a very good card. Alright? That's pretty much established. And I know we haven't had many events yet, but there's been some opening ones in Japan. There's been a bunch of testing going on. We don't know exactly how good Iron Valiant is going to be, but at this stage we feel fairly confident that Iron Valiant is a good card. Oh, I should say this one is coming in at 4,000 yen, which is about $26. This is not the best version of Iron Valiant. The best version of Iron Valiant we'll have a look at in a moment, but this is still a very cool version of Iron Valiant. This is one we like very much indeed. So, yeah. It's got that amazing ability, Tachyon Bits, which lets you put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon when you go from the bench to the active. It's really rather good, frankly. It's a very, very good card. It's one we like very much indeed. This is the gold version of it. There is one better version, but let's not talk about that yet. That's coming up a little bit higher up on the list. Coming in at number 9, we got the Special Illustration Rare of Altaria. That comes in at 4,500 yen, or about $30. Now, this one, I think, is less understandable, frankly. Now, it's not to say that it's a bad card. Not at all. But it's really not terribly playable. Like, it heals. It heals pretty nicely, incidentally. It's a pretty cool card in that regard. It's one that we like from a playability standpoint just fine, but it's not exactly a game-breaking card which is going to make some gigantic difference to the game. We don't expect it to be, well, particularly playable. It's got that ability whereby once during a turn you can heal 20 from each of your Pokemon, but it's a stage 1 with an underwhelming attack. What we do have here, however, is phenomenal artwork. And some of these cards end up being really on the higher end of this list because of playability. Some it's art, some it's a mixture. Here it is very much artwork. This is an artwork kind of thing, and it is a beautiful, beautiful card. In at number 8, we got the Special Illustration Rare of Iron Hands, and this seems to me to be basically the opposite, honestly. Because what we've got here is artwork, which is fine, it's nice enough artwork, but I'm not seeing people raving about this card artwork-wise like we are seeing some of the others. What we have instead here is a card that everybody basically agrees is brilliant. For 4 energy to 120, which is fine, but if you take a prize, you take an extra prize. If you take a KO with it, you get to take an extra prize. And this is a very, very, very good thing indeed. And this is basically it. This is the bestest, fanciest version of a card which everybody is expecting to be extremely playable. And for that reason, it comes in pretty high up on this list. That's your answer. There we go. Sounds good to me. In at number 7, we've got the gold version of Roaring Moon. And basically what we're learning here is that Roaring Moon is expected to be a better card than Iron Valiant. And we kind of know that because the gold version, Roaring Moon, is more expensive, and I'm going to give you a tiny little spoiler warning here. The special illustration rare is higher as well. Over in Japan, we are being told that Roaring Moon is a better card than Iron Valiant. Oh, I should say that this comes in at around about 5,800 yen, which is about $38. You may have noticed the last two cards were listed as the same, but I checked a bunch of sites, tiebreakers, etc., and they are in the right order, though the price remains about the same. And Roaring Moon really does seem to be a phenomenal card. For free energy, instant knockout on anything, and sure, you got to take 200 damage, but instant knockout on anything. Also, this now would be a great time to reacquaint yourselves with the sudden death rules, because I rather suspect it's going to get a lot more relevant now that Roaring Moon's in the format. Double KO to go to one game each. We then got free energy, 100 damage, but you can discard a stadium to do 220 instead. Really good card, expected to be very playable, and the gold version isn't the best version, but it's still a beautiful gold card. That makes kind of sense. In at number 6, we've got the Professor Sada Special Illustration Rare. You will notice Professor Turo has yet to come up on this list, and I'm going to spoil the suspense if there was any suspense to be spoiled. Yeah, it's not. Professor Sada is more popular. There's an argument that Turo is just as playable. Nobody cares. Sada is a lot more popular. And to be fair, it is actually a really good card, because you get to choose up to 2 of your ancient Pokemon, attach a basic energy from your discard pile to them, and draw 3 cards. Oh, I should say this comes in at 6,000 yen, which is pretty much dead on $40. And this is a special illustration rare, sitting on some stairs, reading a book to some Pokemon, having a jolly old time. This one's kind of awesome, honestly. This one's very, very cool. Good card, popular character, wonderful artwork. This makes sense. In at number 5, we've got the gold version of Countercatcher coming in at 6,500 yen, which is $43. Although do remember this is early and prices probably will fall over the next couple of weeks. And here, it's not a very exciting answer, but Countercatcher's a really good card. It's automatic gusting on anything as long as you're behind on prizes. And look, we've already had a gold Countercatcher. This is not actually the first time we've ever had a gold Countercatcher. We had one years ago now, back in Crimson Invasion. And this is another gold version of Countercatcher. There's not a huge amount to choose between them or art-wise, if I'm honest. But look, it's a gold version of a really good playable card. Simple as that. In at number 4, we got the special illustration rare of Tulip, coming in at 10,000 yen or $66. And, I mean, look, Tulip as a card, it's fine. It's alright. It's a decent card. We don't mind Tulip. It's the one that lets you put 4 in any combination of Psychic Pokemon and basic Psychic Energy from your discard pile into your hand. It's cool. Really here, though, we've got Tulip, and another moderately popular character, and you've got the stunning, absolutely ridiculous artwork by Akira Igawa here. That, for me, is what sells this card. I think it's absolutely ridiculously stunning. I hope it drops in price a little bit, so I can maybe think about picking it up, because I do think the artwork here is absolutely stunning. Now, interestingly enough, as I was recording this, all of the top 3 over on the Japanese sites I was looking at were sold out. And they'll probably come back into stock, maybe a little bit higher. So I'm giving you the most recent prices before they sold out, because they all sold out. In at number 3, the special illustration rare Iron Valiant, coming in at 11,000 yen or $73. And we mentioned Iron Valiant earlier. We said what a cool card it is. We said how much we like it. This is the special illustration rare. And yes, I'm going to tell you one more time that I had the English language reveal of this card, because I am very, very happy that I had the English language reveal of this card. It made me very happy. But also, it's just a stunning card. Honestly, it's as simple as that. It's a great card, don't get me wrong. Playability-wise, we absolutely love it. but it's also just an absolutely stunning card with all of the others on there, all of the friends just kind of chilling, including Iron Fawns, which is not in the set, which I cannot be the only one that thinks that's weird. But there we go. Iron Fawns is on the card, but Iron Fawns is not actually in the set. Bit weird. Never mind. In at number 2, we got the special illustration rare of Mela, also at 11,000 yen or $73. And this is another one of those where it's largely artwork. And don't get me wrong, it's a pretty cool card. Lets you attach an energy from your discard pile of basic fire energy to one of your Pokemon, any Pokemon, basic fire energy, and then draw till you got 6 cards in hand, just so long as you had a Pokemon KO'd the previous turn. Pretty cool card. But it's Mela chilling on some stairs with a Torkoal. That's why this card ends up being so expensive. Yes, it's the same price as Iron Valiant, but looking around, Mela seems to be really winning the tiebreakers at the moment. We'll see what happens over the next few weeks. And confidently in at number 1 by a bit of a mile, the special illustration rare of Roaring Moon, coming in at 20,000 yen or $130. Yes, that is nearly double the number 2 and 3 cards. People in Japan are expecting Roaring Moon to be the best card. Way better than Iron Valiant. Just look at the price of both the gold cards and the special illustration rares. That's going to tell you. And it is a stunning card, incidentally. And it's a very playable card, as we talked about earlier. And it is number 1. And it's not even close. It is not like, well, it's a tiny bit higher than Iron Valiant. We'll see what happens over the next couple of weeks. No. This is number 1 by a wide margin. Now, beginning of next week, I can tell you what's going on with Paradox Rift and how the cards in English compare to Japan. But as I said at the start of the video, we're still in pre-releases. It is too early to bring you that video until the set is actually out there. The best I can do is give you a prediction, and I already did that video. Right now, I'm telling you what's going on in Japan with a Japanese set, and I'll tell you what, this one's pretty awesome. Right, that's what you need to know, and now it's over to you guys. Tell me which of these cards you like the most. Tell me which of these ones you want to be pulling or picking up. Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and card games and Pokemon card games, all kinds of fun things. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. Oh, and get shoutouts on the channel, like the lovely AB3, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and is a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.